Here we are.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cristian.
It is a beautiful morning. Again, as always. We are at a place I've never been to before.
I actually can't remember the last time I was here, but it's a beautiful spot.
It is. We found a nice... We are truly off the beaten path at the moment. We walked through a few trees to get where we are. We're not on the main path today to get here. It took a while.
We're not.
A few mishaps along the way, but we are here, ready and recording. So, in front of us, we are looking at the view today. We've decided we will treat ourselves with the view today. We have a lake in front of us. We're at Gels Park, by the way, in Wheelers Hill. We have a lake in front of us, a few swans and birds, and a little island out there that is packed with ibises and bin chickens.
Packed with bin chickens.
So, good thing we have no food around us for them to steal. Just water, which they have plenty of.
They've got more than enough water.
They've got heaps of water in front of them. So, but behind us, you should see some trees, some pine. No, they're not pine trees, are they? I don't know. They look like pine trees.
They kind of look like pine trees.
They're like baby pine trees.
But correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, maybe there's a botanist watching this, so you can let us know. But
very excited to be here, Cristian.
Me too. I'm excited because we just recorded a podcast not that long ago, about 3 weeks ago. We had one episode came out last week or this week. We got one coming out the next week that's coming up, and this one should be coming out in 2 weeks. So it's all happening.
It's all happening.
Smashing it out, and yeah, it's the podcast life is well and truly in momentum. So. Happy days. Happy days.
Let's go.
Happy days. It was a beautiful drive here for me this morning as well. There was lots of hills. Did you? I'm not sure where you came from, but there was lots of hills we went down, or I went down, and you could see in the distance just fog lifting over the houses. Oh, it's a picture perfect morning in winter. It does not even feel like winter.
Sun is fairly warm, actually. I was asking you to bring some sunscreen. I was thinking I was going to get burnt.
Because I had to make a impromptu trip to Officeworks because I did forget one adapter. But that's okay.
But you smashed it, mate.
Smashed it out. Went for a bit of a jog to get to the car and back, which was good. Bit of a workout. And... well, here we are. What shall we expect for this episode today, Calum? Hey everyone, thank you very much for tuning into our episode today. I just wanted to pop in real quick and give you guys a heads up that our microphones did cut out from between the times of 30 to 60 minutes during this episode. Now, the good news is I was still able to grab the audio from the cameras. So during this period, you will notice a slight difference in the audio quality, but it is still very much listenable, which is a blessing for us because during this half an hour period is when we really delve deep into the real meaty part of the episode and all the practical things that we're about to talk about soon. So that's all from me. Let's get back to the episode.
Today, the first topic I know we're talking about anxiety and overwhelm and some practical ways that we found useful to manage those situations or manage those feelings, manage those emotions as they arise within us. And the second part, well, obviously we're going to share a book or a song or something that we've found interesting, that we've found some wisdom in our lives, from our lives. And the second part, we're talking about composure and leadership and the links between those, and why we find so often that with leadership, it is necessary for a certain level of composure.
Yeah, and that blends really well into anxiety. So basically, we're going to talk about how do you become composed, really? How do you deal with your stress, your anxiety? And then once you've dealt with that, well, now how do you use that to lead others, become a leader and guide others, be that rock, essentially. So let's dig in. So what's the lesson that you've had in the past week?
Oh, good question. Lesson I've had in the last week. So in my newest program, the 12 Steps to Unfuck Yourself, one of the steps is creating, or I'll do like a little mini challenge for it's like an entry level. And one of those little challenge days is to keep a promise to yourself, no matter how big or small. But try to go something small. And something small, one of those kind of examples or suggested or recommendations is not snoozing your alarm in the morning. But for me, I found, like, I watch a bird in the morning as it wakes up. It'll kind of get up, do a bit of a stretch or something, and kind of sit back down again for a little while. And then it'll kind of get up again, and then it'll start going. I've wondered, well, I've been really annoyed at the fact that when I would wake up in the morning, my alarm would go off, and I'd be like, I have to get up straight away. It's been really cold. It's been tough to get up in the morning. And so I was like, okay, how can I be more purposeful about this? How can I be more like a natural rising, like the way the bird wakes up, but without snoozing my alarm? So what I do now is I have an alarm set. Like this morning, I had an alarm set at 5:45 and then 6. So 5:45, I wake up. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, I'm getting up soon. And then 6 o'clock goes off, and then I'm up. And it's a lot smoother. It feels more natural for me. And so I've learned that you can kind of snooze your alarm, but you do it purposefully. It's like I did it with intention, and I did a set it the night before instead of the morning being like, oh no, I can't be fucked. It's like, no, you set it the morning before. It's like, okay, I've got a 5:45 and then I've got a 6, and that's when I get up. So I found that you can snooze your alarm, but if you do it with intention, you feel a whole lot better about yourself.
Yeah, so it's like a planned sleeping. Yeah. Planned snooze.
Planned snooze.
Hacking the snooze.
Yes, sir.
Tricking your body, thinking, we're sleeping in, and your body's like, yes! And then, yeah.
It feels so much more natural.
That's smart. I think I used to do something like that. I used to set an alarm for an hour or 2 hours before I wanted to wake up. And then that would feel like a sleep in. Because then it'd go off an hour or so later. So that is so smart. Thank you. That's great. That's great.
Thank you, mate.
Especially because I know I've heard that the circadian rhythm, we're supposed to rise and sleep in line with the sunlight. So
that's really off during winter when we have that late. It doesn't get light until what, 7:30, 8, and it's all over the joint.
Yeah. So it is, isn't it? But yeah, your body isn't meant to just naturally, you see the sunlight, and then that slowly wakes your body up, apparently. So very good. So my learning lesson this week was a very stoic lesson of focus on what's in your control, be grateful for the rest, which again was this morning with needing to go to Officeworks, quick little detour. But 2 little stoic principles of the Stoic philosophy is amor fati and memento mori. Amor fati means love your fate, which means don't just accept and deal with what happens to you, but love what happens to you. Find a way to love or be grateful for everything that happens to you. How can you be grateful for what's happening to you right now, or what you're experiencing? And then memento mori means remember you will die, which then just is basically forcing you to zoom out and realize that, okay, is what's happening right now really that big of a problem? So that's one perspective of it. Another perspective is, well, make sure everything you're doing it with a purpose or an intention. So yeah, those are some things I was thinking about this week.
Sounds like some very good lessons.
Yeah.
Very good lessons. Where did you come across these Stoic principles?
Well, I've known about them for 3 years. I reckon the Stoic philosophy was something I really delved deep into when I first started improving myself, getting into self-improvement around 3 years ago. I was listening to a podcast, and then someone mentioned, the person whose podcast it was mentioned Stoic philosophy. This is Stoic mindset. It's like, oh, what's this Stoic thing? So then I googled Stoic, and I found this dude called Ryan Holiday. He's got a business called The Daily Stoic, and he talks a lot about Stoicism in a real authentic and practical way, and he is able to really explain it because he literally studies Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Epictetus, who are Stoics from 2,000 years ago, these people who introduced these philosophies, these great thinkers of how to live authentically and how to get the most out of life. And so he just dives deep into them. I've read a bunch of his books, and basically a lot of what you teach you can find in a lot of philosophies around the world. Stoicism's really good. And it's not just a masculine philosophy. It applies to everyone. You know, female girls, you can get into Stoicism too. It's not just about, for Stoicism, most people think Stoicism is just being emotionless. It's actually not. It's being in tune with your emotion, but not letting it control you. It's a lot of other things too, but especially I think it's picked up in social media over the past 2 years, which I didn't even realize it was popular when I was studying it or when I was diving into it. But I think what's portrayed on social media is around 80% true. There's a large 20% of it that is missing, which is the connection to yourself and connection to others, because they have this other core principle. There's about 4 or 5 core principles. One of them is, I think it's sympatheia. They're all Latin words, and it means we are all one, or we are connected, we are united. It might be another one. I don't know if it's sympatheia, or it's summon Bowman. It's one of them, but yeah, it's quite an emotionally it's a level of emotional intelligence that is spoken at you through philosophy. And I know, but Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor. He was an emperor. He was one of the 5. They say there was 5 good emperors, 5 good Roman emperors, and he was one of them. And he was one of the last ones as the empire was starting to fall, and he overcame a lot of battles and led the army. He was a boxer as well, or a wrestler, as well as the emperor. So, and he studied, and he went through a lot. Like, he had a bunch of children die. His children die, which then is probably where he came up with these ideas of, well, remember you will die. And things along these lines. The mortality of it all. Mortality. He says, meditate on your mortality every day. You know, remind yourself before you go to sleep that I might die. I might not wake up. Anyone that's had someone important to them in their life pass away has very quickly come into contact with the mortality of life, and it's very quickly. For me, it very much helped me see, okay, like, I got to take life by the balls. Like, this is going to be me one day. Like, and you kind of, as a very young person, it doesn't really factor in as much. And we kind of think, oh, you know, it doesn't, I don't need to worry about that. But no, you can actually leverage it. You can actually go, oh, actually, I've got to remember that one day I won't be here. And I've got to make the most of every single moment that I have available to me and use the opportunities that I have, because life, as they say, is precious. And it's precious because it isn't always going to be around for you. And it's scary, but it can also be incredibly empowering. Yeah, so let's just talk about this for 2 minutes. So death, from the Stoic perspective, isn't scary. It's a way of gratitude. It's a way to induce gratitude and to induce not necessarily immediacy or what word am I looking for? Urgency, but actually it can be to slow down. Like, you're going to die. Maybe this doesn't worry as much. You can relax. You can relax. Them getting your coffee order wrong, it's okay. It's all right. But that's a really good point. Yeah, and they say, you know, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. And they say, you know how you said that we think that death is something that's going to happen way into the future. They have this idea that, well, the Stoics have this idea that, well, death is happening to us all the time. It's happening every day. Death is happening to us every day. Every time has died. Like the past 10 seconds, it just died. It's not coming back. So death is not something happening in the future. It's something that's happening every second. We're getting closer and closer to it. So it's kind of beautiful the way you spoke about it there. Yeah. So don't think that death is something that's happening in the future. It's something that's happening all the time. And I have this poster on my door, and I don't know if it is somewhat a Stoic poster, but it's one that Ryan Holiday, he talks about a lot, this Stoic studier, the person who studies, he explains it so well, Stoicism. Just to go on YouTube if you want to learn about Stoicism. Ryan Holiday, he has a bunch of good books as well. I think I've recommended them in previous podcasts. Yeah. I think in every single one. Like a loyal Ryan Holiday. Yeah. But I have this post-its on the back of my door, and I can see it when I'm working. And it's the Grim Reaper, or it's meant to be the Grim Reaper. It's just a skeleton, and he's holding a bow and arrow. And it's in a way that no matter where you're standing in my room, the bow and arrow is pointing at you. It's like one of those things where the eyes are always looking, but the arrow is always looking at you. And it's just a reminder that death is not in our control. Like God or the Grim Reaper he decides when to fire that arrow. So give up control. Focus on what's in control. Focus on what's in your control. Be grateful for the rest.
See, I think that is probably the most important thing to be taking away from what you just said there, is that focus on what is within your control. Yes, obviously, drive safe on the road. Don't walk out in front of cars and things like that.
Exercise, be healthy, look after your sleep. Like, maximize your health as much as you can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There is a percentage of it that's not in your control. Does that mean you go? Because I know people who have this idea, well, I'm going to die, so I'm just going to do drugs, get smashed. Because
YOLO.
It's not going to matter anyways. Well, do you want to live an intentional, purposeful life, have an impact? So I think, my philosophy is maximize your health, maximize your longevity as much as possible, but also realize that there is a percentage of it that could just go right now.
Absolutely.
I could have a heart attack right now.
I hope that you don't.
I hope I don't. But if I do, I trust that I will be quite accepting of it in the moment. I'm quite satisfied with my being. This has become a quite deep podcast quite quickly. We jumped straight into the deep end.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? Yes. Well,
shall we get on to the first question?
Yes. Something that death causes a lot of people is anxiety. So let's talk about anxiety and overwhelm.
Good segue.
So, Mr. Calum, what is your go-to strategy for overcoming anxiety or dealing with overwhelm or even just stress?
Okay. This is it's a two-part answer for me. One of the parts is recognizing that lowering your anxiety, lowering the speed in which you become overwhelmed is a daily practice.
So basically just more or less preventing it.
It's preventative maintenance, really. It's managing, that's stress management. It's the emotional management. And now that comes in the form of meditation. That comes in the form of pausing regularly throughout your day. And that comes in the form of taking care of yourself physically, making sure that your physical and mental health are optimal, like what we were saying before, setting yourself up for success, right? So eating healthy things, and it all gets into it, because when you live a healthy lifestyle, it removes anxiety that doesn't need to be there. When you eat healthy, when you live healthy, when you sleep well, your body's taken care of. Your central nervous system has the ability to relax, has the ability to chill the fuck out. And it makes a massive difference when you are faced with a stressful situation. If you're healthy, you eat healthy, you're well slept, and you take care of yourself by meditating every day, pausing, bringing yourself back into your body, relaxing, you have a stressful situation. Okay. You can handle that as best as possible. You have the best chance of being able to handle that situation without freaking the fuck out. But if you eat like shit, if you get 2 hours sleep a night, if you spend all your time doom scrolling on TV, and I'm not shaming you for these things, I'm just saying they're unhealthy habits and they're not setting you up for success.
Yeah, it's just a pattern recognition moment for us right now.
Exactly. If you're going through all those daily habits, those daily routines, you're not taking care of your central nervous system. And so then when your central nervous system is already in a state of kind of freak out, it's already a little bit anxious all the time. So then you're faced with a situation that's freaky and freaks you out and scary, and your emotions are heightened. Your stress levels go through the roof because you've already been in a state of kind of anxiousness. You're already kind of overwhelmed all the time because you're not maintaining your central nervous system's health. That's kind of from a management perspective as a daily practice. And as you do that more and more, as you meditate more and more, you take you get more consistent with your daily healthiness, your central nervous system will become calmer and calmer and calmer, and your ability to handle crazy situations becomes stronger and stronger as you become more settled, as you become more... You're just more able to handle... You're better equipped to handle situations that are freaky and scare you. Now, that's from a maintenance perspective. That's part one. Part two is if you are facing an anxious situation right now, like even if you're taking care of all those healthy things and you're still faced with a freaky situation, something you feel overwhelmed, you feel anxious, I've found becoming aware of your breath, becoming aware of your breathing works in two ways. One, it gets you out of your head. Because overwhelm and anxiety, and yes, there are physical symptoms, but there's so much of it goes on in the head. There's so many thoughts going around in our mind. It's freaky, it's scary, it's overwhelming. It's like, you just want to escape. So instead of escaping into a substance or something like that, you can escape into your breath. And that's a far healthier way, because what you're doing is actually managing the body. And you're taking yourself out of your mind, and then you're concentrating on your breath. And your breath is like a physical bodily function. And the simplest technique for lowering your level of stress by using your breath is to breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 8. Breathing out for 8 is incredibly effective, because what it does is it's like when you're breathing out, it's not the breath in that relaxes you, it's the breath out. And so when you breathe out and you elongate that breath out, you're allowing your body to relax. And you do that 5 times. You breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8. Do that 5 times in a row. You will be able to handle that situation far better. You'll be less anxious. You'll be less overwhelmed. You'll have taken a break from your mind. You'll now be more in your body, which means you can now make a more holistic decision moving forward. So, one is daily maintenance. Super effective, especially for long term, especially for people out there that want to go that longevity like we've been talking about. And 2, when those stressful situations come up, breath work. In for 4, out for 8, 5 times. You do that, I promise you there'll be a major difference in your state of emotional and mental being.
Perfect. I've never heard of that 4 and 8. I've heard the 4, 4, 4, 4, that box method, but that 4 and 8, I just did it just then when you were speaking. It's very nice. So thank you.
Huge difference.
I've learned something here too, because I know how important focusing on your breath is, but that's a new way I can do that as well. So, hey, quick little tip as well. If you're someone who struggles to take deep breaths, you feel like your breaths don't fulfill you, or they don't satisfy your need to relax or just have a nice deep breath. I learned this from Andrew Huberman. I just heard him say this on a reel. When you breathe, so obviously you don't breathe through your mouth, you breathe through your nose. If you breathe through your mouth, it's not good for your health. Your longevity goes down and things along these lines. There's lots of other things. You also end up looking like a fish if you mouth breathe. So, but you breathe through your nose. But when you do it, try and push the air parallel to the roof of your mouth. And then for whatever reason, that ends up filling your belly. So just try it right now. So you pull it parallel to your mouth and maybe try and push it down a bit, like breathe down. I try and breathe it into, that dangly bit at the bottom of your mouth, at the top of your mouth, that dangly thing. It's not your tonsil, but the thing in between. Try and breathe into that. It gets a deeper breath.
That's actually so true.
Yeah.
Nice, Cristian.
But
good stuff.
One thing I love what you said is basically, a good way to overcome anxiety is to prevent it in the first place, and then obviously realize that the flip side of that is anxiety and these feelings of stresses. They are normal. It's not about, we talked about this last episode, it's not about removing it or running away from it. It's learning how to experience it better. But step one, as you said, is preventing it. So, and I like, you mentioned about the phone. If you're always on TikTok and all these things, or Instagram, or scrolling, or you're always watching the news, lots of this stuff isn't part of isn't in our control. We don't control what we see next. And think about our brain. Our brain wasn't built to have the capacity to deal with all the stressful things, like all the death that's happening on the other side of the world, or the corruption that's happening on the other side of the world. We're only merely supposed to know what's happening in our village or our town or our state or our country at the most. We're not supposed to know all this stuff. So everything your mind sees, especially in the news or in social media, it's going into your mind subconsciously. So a good way to overcome anxiety is actually go on a content diet. Go on a content diet. Okay. Be okay with being perceived as stupid from the rest of the world because you don't know what's going on.
That's literally me.
Yeah.
Straight up. I get people say like this stuff all the time. They're like, oh, do you know about this? Do you hear about that? Nah.
Do you know about this drama that's happening with this celebrity? No. Do you know about this conflict that's happening on the other side of the world? No. Tell me. Teach me.
Does it affect me?
No, it doesn't affect me, but it's also a good conversation hack, because if you don't know anything, you can just tell people, well, teach me about it, and then they're going to start yapping about something they're passionate about, and then you're not even going to have to say a word, and they think they've had the best conversation of their life. So there you go, two hacks. But back to the phone.
I like it.
Don't go on your phone half an hour before bed. That's a good thing, because basically whatever you feed your mind half an hour before bed is what your subconscious mind, your reticular activation system, you've talked about it. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast, but I've seen you've even been posting about it recently, which is awesome. But that's what it talks about. That's what it thinks about whilst you're asleep. So if you're just scrolling on random stuff at Instagram, when you're sleeping, you're going to be thinking about the random thirst trap that popped up, the person who, whatever. All the stuff,
whatever you've been consuming before it is, no matter what it is, you know.
And then that's going to make you anxious. Then you're going to wake up anxious. So
but you can hack that, right?
You can hack it. You just read a book about something. You give your brain something to solve, because your brain's a problem solver and it wants to solve things while you're asleep. That's what it does. So give your brain something to solve. Don't make it solve the argument you're having or the argument someone's having online. You don't need to solve that. And then the other thing is 30 minutes when you wake up, the same thing. Whatever you feed your mind the first 30 minutes when you wake up, it's what it's going to think about for the rest of the day. It's setting the intentions for the rest of the day. So a good first step, piggybacking on what Calum said, is manage your phone use, manage your information use. In the first half an hour and last half an hour of the day, so both sides of your sleep, go on a content diet. Only feed your mind what you want to think about. Or what you want it to think about, not the things that's going to induce anxiety. So read a book, meditate. And you talked about meditation. So lots of people, Calum, they've meditated before. They've meditated in school and they haven't liked it because it's been this weird thing that you had to do maybe on a Tuesday morning once a week. Bit of woo-woo. And people have tried it, and maybe they've listened to someone go, now focus on your breath, and now you should be able to feel something in your toes. And you're like, I don't know what's going on right now. So for someone listening right now, what is an effective way to meditate? How do you actually meditate? Because lots of people, when we hear this word meditation, we're thinking, yeah, that's weird. I've done that before. It doesn't really do anything. It just makes me feel weird. It's just some weird stuff. Someone's yapping in my ear and there's some weird music going on, and yeah, not for me. So how does one meditate?
Well, it's as simple as, and this is the simple basis of it. This is the nuts and bolts. You just sit there and you do nothing.
Do nothing. That's it.
Like but it's so much harder than you think, because we don't do that.
Yeah. Think right now. When was the last time you actually sat and did nothing? Literally nothing. You just sat there.
Dude, like it's literally step one in what I was talking about before. The 12 steps to unfuck yourself. The first thing is, what is your relationship with silence? And it's the most cutthroat thing, because it cuts through all the bullshit and it really just brings to the front all the stuff that you've got going on. Now, if it's difficult for you to sit still, If it's difficult for you to sit still and in silence now, it's only going to get more difficult to sit still and in silence should you not practice it as you get older.
I think that word practice that you use right now is so important. So meditation is literally just practicing this sitting in silence.
That's all it is. Literally sitting in silence. It is becoming aware of what the fuck is going on around you. Because like what you were saying before, when you're on your phone, you're seeing things from happening on the other side of the world that really don't matter.
Like, they matter in terms of ethical and all these things, but they don't affect you.
Exactly right. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they do, but it's maybe only on a mind.
Well, it's up to them. It's up to them if what decides what the fuck matters.
If you decide it matters to you, it will matter to you.
Exactly right. It's up to you. But what my point being there is that essentially, if you're able to sit there in silence and allow your mind to talk, and allow all of the things that are going to happen, they're going to come up in the mind, and they just start talking and talking and talking away. And when you sit there in silence, in stillness, in silence, the thoughts will come up. And they're going to be there regardless of if you're on a lake or sitting by a river or at home. They're going to come up. And this is the point. Because when they come up and they start to almost take over our sense of consciousness, our life, they start to become full frontal, full awareness. They're really quite overwhelming. Well, they can be. When they do that, we have the opportunity to step back. Notice that our thoughts have come up. Notice that our thoughts are not us, because we are noticing said thoughts. All right, deep shit. Really good stuff, though. When you sit there in silence, you are creating a separation from you, your core, your sense of awareness, and your mind's activity. So when your mind is active and the thoughts are coming up, and you sit there and you notice them, and you do not react, you are taking back control of your life. One meditation session at a time.
One breath at a time, or even.
One breath at a time. And we breathe and we concentrate on breathing because it takes us out of our mind and into our body. Like what we were saying before with stress management, anxiety management as a daily maintenance, daily practice. That is why meditation is so influential. Now, you can do this at the start. You can do guided meditation. You're asking different ways to do it. There's a couple. There's guided meditation. There's meditation with a mantra, and there's breath work. Breathing meditation, which is literally just sitting there and doing nothing. Now, I have done all three, and you've done probably all three, haven't you?
I've done all three.
Yeah. Now, would you want to tell us a little bit about your experience with the different types of meditation?
Of course. So for me personally, and I think this is the best way to meditate is have nothing in your ears. Because you can do a guided meditation and that can teach you how to meditate, and I can give you a source. There's a good app or good website as well. It's called Waking Up. And you can get a free month of it. It's a paid subscription, and free month, 30 days. And they have a 27-day course that teaches you how to meditate. So go do that if you would like to. So that's guided meditation. But once you do that guided meditation, where there's music in the background or there's someone speaking, that can pull you away from your body, because you're not actually focusing on yourself. You're focusing on what you're on this music or this. It's more a distraction. So I've done mantras. I think mantras and affirmations are good too. So usually how I'll meditate is I do 10 minutes every morning. If I feel like I want to do more, I'll do more. But I'll spend as much time as I need to And I don't look at the clock or anything. I just spend as much time checking in with myself, and then once I feel satisfied with that, and the timer might go off by then, but after that, I'll start just thinking about some mantras in my head and meditating on that. But sometimes I spend the whole 10 minutes just focusing. I'll focus on my breath, but what you can do is, you know, you can meditate with your eyes open. You can meditate it with with them closed. Basically, meditation is just, you talked about it just then, is you're realizing that you're separating yourself from your thoughts and your emotions. And you're realizing that you're the observer.
Yeah.
And that you can observe your thoughts and your emotions without participating, which is so critical for anxiety and stress.
God, yeah.
And every emotion, even happiness, even joy, even anger, sadness, all of them, is realizing that you are not them, you have them. I use this analogy all the time. You have clothes, but you are not your clothes.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've probably heard this before, where when you meditate, you want to view your thoughts as a clouds in the sky, and you could think, okay, that sounds cool, but what the fuck does that mean? It's basically meaning, Michael Sinner says this before, but you want to take this take the seat of the mind. So picture yourself, I know you love Michael Sinner.
Michael Singer is amazing.
You just picture yourself, you're sitting down and allowing your mind or your consciousness to present you whatever's happening. So if you're feeling itchy, just think, okay, I'm feeling itchy right now, and just feel that itch instead of itch the itch. Feel the temperature that's happening.
Now, why would someone want to resist itching the itch?
What's impulse control?
And it's also teaching you that you can overcome impulse, because it is so hard. But I get itches when I meditate, and sometimes I will itch it, but I'll do my absolute best. 8 times out of 10, I'll just breathe through it. And the itch doesn't go away. It's just you forget about it.
Interesting.
But then maybe after a few minutes, it goes away. So you can close your eyes. You become aware of what's around you. The easiest thing is your breath. But you can become aware, okay, what am I hearing? What am I seeing? Even if you have your eyes closed, you're seeing stuff. Like Calum and I, if we close our eyes right now, what can you see? Can you see something, Calum?
Not really.
I can see red, because the sun's in my eyes. I can see red.
Yeah.
I can see flickers as if I'm looking at the sun. So you can still see things. Just become aware of what's happening around you. So meditation is, as you said, a great way to overcome anxiety. And the easiest way to meditate is literally just sit and do nothing. I have a framework as well, because lots of us, when we meditate, we think that meditation is the goal of meditation is to create a still mind. You will never have a still mind. The goal of meditation is not to remove your thoughts. You will never remove your thoughts. You will never remove your emotions. You will never remove anything that is human.
I like this, Cristian. Well said.
The goal of meditation isn't to remove it. The goal of meditation, it's a quote, it's not to have a still mind, it's to return a wandering mind. It's basically to become okay with whatever's happening in your mind. So every time you meditate, guess what's going to happen? Your mind's going to wander. You're going to lose focus. It's going to happen. That's just what happens. You don't meditate and your mind doesn't lose focus. That's just, unless you're a monk and
if you can spend 20 minutes on your breath and not drift once. Wow.
That's like saying to someone who's never played football, here's a ball, go to the center square and talk it through the middle. I can do it. It might take you a few years to first of all develop the power to get it that far, and then the technique as well. But it's not about having a still mind, it's about returning a wandering mind. So think about this. So this is the process of meditation. You decide to focus on your breath, for example. So step 1, you're focusing on your breath. And then your mind wanders and starts thinking about what you want to have for breakfast tomorrow or something like that. I don't know. And then you realize, so that's step 2, is that it has wandered. Step 3 is now, oh shit, my mind has wandered. I'm supposed to be meditating right now. Fuck. That's step 3. You've become aware that your mind's wandering. Then you're like, okay, let's refocus on our breath. And then that's a cycle. So focus on breath, mind wanders. You become aware that your mind wanders, then refocus on breath. That's a rep. That's like a bicep curl for your meditation muscle. And actually, the more of that you do, you're doing more bicep curls. So every time you lose focus and regain focus, don't beat yourself up. Like we can easily beat ourselves up in that step 3 when we're like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be meditating. Change your mindset and change your thoughts of it. It's not, oh shit, fuck me, I can't focus. It's, now when I refocus, I've just improved my meditation muscle. So there's nothing wrong if you can't focus. The more you don't focus and refocus, you're getting better at meditation. So, and if you spend 10 minutes every day, as soon as you wake up is when I do it, because that's usually the best. You're quieting your mind as soon as you wake up. Best time to do it. If you do that in 10 minutes in the morning, you're getting reps done. And you're also getting momentum. You're staying calm, setting a calm intention for the day, maybe get into some affirmations. But if you meditate for 10 minutes every day for 2 months, even just 1 month, even just 2 weeks, you'll see massive differences. You'll also notice everything. You'll notice everything. We talked about this in last episode, the mirror projection. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. You will start noticing what your inner world is. And then that means you will know, okay, what do I need to start focusing on? What do I need to start not fixing, but improving, where do I need to make progress? Oh shit. I notice I'm always angry. Okay. Maybe I need to work on feeling anger better, or I'm always anxious. Okay. What is it that's making me anxious? It's this thing about my life. Okay. What about this thing in my life is in my control? Okay. Now I have things to do about it.
Well, because in the life that we live, in the world that we live in, there's so many things that we can do.
Oh yeah.
There's so many options. Like,
especially with social media, we're presented with, you can do all of these things.
How cool. Like, it's amazing.
It's cool, but it's also anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
There's too many options. Overwhelm.
It's weakened our muscle to be able to focus, because we don't need to focus as much anymore because there's so many things we can do. And
it goes back to dopamine as well, which we won't talk about today.
No. But I just wanted to quickly touch on that. When it comes to a meditation, like what we were saying before, I think, like we were discussing, there's a few different options for it. If you haven't done it before, it's probably good to download, what was the app, Waking Up?
Waking Up, yeah, do it because it's really good. It's 27 days. He teaches you each day. It progresses from first, he'll just tell you to focus on your breath. By day 27, he's telling you to fucking astral project and be conscious. 27 days, I don't know.
Well, see, I think the benefit of that is for a lot of us, it's hard to sit still.
Yeah, so it is good to have that.
So what the point of having a guided meditation when you're starting is someone to help you, or just to kind of guide you through it, but it gives you an opportunity just to sit there and sit still. Like, because all you need to do is sit there and listen to this bloke talk about cool stuff. And that's like an introductory level, right? It's like what you were saying before with footy, trying to kick a torpedo through the middle from the center square. It's like, okay, here's the football, right? That's guided meditation. Here's meditation.
This is where you place your hands.
Yeah, it's like, this is how you sit still. This is where you can do it. These are ideal locations. Like, find somewhere quiet. Find somewhere where you're probably not going to be distracted. Put your phone kind of on silent, or, remove as much distraction as you can. And so guided meditation would be very useful for you if you haven't done it before.
A cool thing is, so he has the guided meditation, and then so there's 27 days, and each day there's the practice. Then he also has a theory, which you don't have to do, but he also just explains, which you can listen to it after, what you just did and what scientifically what you just did, if you're interested in that, which I am, but you might not be. So that's also a cool thing. But yeah.
And then I would encourage you to, once you've gone through that guided meditation, I would encourage you to move into just sitting there and doing nothing.
Just plain silence.
Because that is where you will find the greatest benefits from practice.
One of my clients, she's been in Thailand for a holiday, and she just just got back from a 3-day or 4-day retreat with monks, learning off monks. And she said that they would meditate for, I think it was an hour a day or 2 hours a day. She said it was like, she has changed her, because we've worked on meditation a lot. She says, what her and I've done together has been great for her. But this meditation, just 2 hours a day for 4 days, has completely transformed her and her life. So.
And it's crazy because it's seen to be doing nothing.
You just do nothing for 2 hours a day and you'll change your life.
And you change your life. But that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's so simple,
It's
isn't
so backwards.
it? So backwards.
But it makes such a big difference.
Because we think we need to do. Okay, what do I need to do to fix my life?
Yeah.
It's actually, what do you need to not do?
What do you need to not do?
What do you need to not do? What do you need to actually stop doing? You need to do less.
Because the knowledge is there. It is allowing, the meditation is allowing, like the mind is allowing it to come up.
Yeah, like you don't need to actually listen to more podcasts.
No.
Probably just listen to less. Listen to nothing. Drive in silence. Go to the gym in silence. That's crazy. People think you're crazy if you can do that. There's something wrong with you. Or it's like, whoa.
Raw dogging.
Raw dogging it. No, it's just being human. Like, go for a walk in silence.
You go for a run and you're raw dogging it.
Yeah, gym in silence, raw dogging it.
With no music,
like,
it's crazy.
My partner and I, we drove to Sydney from Melbourne, 10-hour drive. We didn't listen to anything on the way up there. We chatted, of course, but it was so nice. It was so nice. Like, people say, I'm going to raw dog a flight. Okay, yes, in today's society, that's an achievement.
Yeah,
right?
it is. And like, good on you for doing it. But it's just wild that we've gotten to that point as a society.
It's wild. Yeah, exactly. Exactly the point. But yeah. So you shared two great things about anxiety. I'll share my two really practical tips.
Yep.
First one is gratitude. So scientifically, gratitude and anxiety, they're emotions that your brain or your body can't feel both of them at the exact same time. So if you're in a state of gratitude, you can't be in a state of anxiety. It just can't, your brain just can't do that. So if you are currently anxious, you know how they tell you, I think I've heard this thing where if someone's anxious or they're stressed, you tell them what's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you could smell, 2 things.
It takes you out of your mind.
Yeah, which is what you're talking about. What I like to say is, okay, what's 5 things I can see? What's 4 things I can hear? What's 3 things I'm grateful for?
I like it.
Because those first 2, what can I see, what can I hear? It's getting you present out of your mind. And then 3 things I'm grateful for, anxiety's gone. So gratitude is so important. And so I meditate every day. There's 3 habits I do every day. Meditation, cold shower, which has nothing to do with things. Actually, it does have a lot to do with it.
No, it has a lot to do with it.
I'll explain that. Actually, I've got 3 tips for you guys. And gratitude. So I'll set a timer for 5 minutes and I'll either type on my phone or in my journal. I've got a journal on my phone. Journal every day. That's another. There's so much. There's actually so many things. But just write down things you're grateful for, and you get bonus points if you don't just list out house, car, blah, blah, blah. List out why you're grateful for them too. And going back to what we talked about, memento mori, think about, okay, what happened if this thing was removed from my life? Now you're going to feel sad. And then remember that it hasn't been removed from your life. Now you're going to feel this like weird feeling that you're a bit emotional, but you're happy. That's gratitude. So if you're grateful for, like, I think this was about a month ago. I started tearing up in one of my gratitude sessions because I was just thinking about my mum, grateful for my mum. And then I was thinking, imagine if I didn't have my mum. And then I started tearing up. And then it wasn't sad though. That's gratitude. That was gratitude because I do have my mum still. She's still here. And then that's gratitude. And even if you've lost someone in your life, you can still be grateful. It's like, what if I didn't have those moments? But I did have those moments. Gratitude. So gratitude is just finding ways to appreciate or be thankful. And they say that people who say please and thank you, they just have better life. They're just less stressed. That's gratitude. So gratitude is such a power. I spend 5 minutes a day, timer on. When the timer goes off, I'm done, but I'll just write it down, or I'll think about it if I can't be bothered typing or writing, or even if I'm in the shower. When I'm doing it, I'll just think about things I'm grateful for. Another thing is cold exposure, cold shower, cold bath.
Why does that help?
Well, the thing is, that doesn't necessarily help with anxiety in my, but it helps more with stress, which is linked to anxiety.
Yeah.
And basically what you're doing, there's lots of health benefits, but the mental side of it, courage is one thing that helps with courage, but I won't explain that. But basically you're forcing your body into a state of stress. Your body's like, fuck, what's going on? And if you can, obviously your body is going to tense up and you're going to feel all this stress, which is completely normal. But if you can control your breath in that moment and focus on your breath in that moment and essentially calm yourself down, even though there is a lot of pain in that moment, and focus on your breath. It might take you 30 seconds to do so. It might take you a minute to do so, which is actually a long time. But you're basically practicing again, calming yourself down and dealing with stress, which means when stress pops up later in the day, which is why it's good to do these 3 habits at the start of the day in the morning. If you meditate at the start of the morning, you're setting the intention of presence for the rest of the day. If you do gratitude at the start of the morning, you're setting the intention of, now your brain's going to think about gratitude for the rest of the day instead of complaining for the rest of the day. If you have a cold shower at the start of the day, your brain's going to be more courageous and more stress tolerable for the rest of the day, because there's this quote. It's actually a very Stoic quote. It's not about, don't wish for less burdens, wish for broader shoulders. What that means is don't wish for an easier life, because that's not possible. Wish to be stronger. And these cold exposures, that's teaching you, okay, stress is going to come. So I'm basically going to practice dealing with stress. And the thing is, cold shower, it's a controlled environment. You're controlling it. So it's at the end, okay, it's stress, but you're controlling the practice of stress. So gratitude is a huge one there. Then my last thing for overwhelm. This is one of my favorite quotes. And some of my clients, they love this quote. Overwhelm is caused by a lack of clarity. Overwhelm is caused by a lack of clarity. So if you're overwhelmed, you just don't know what to do. Now, another quote is, focus on what's in your control. So if we point these 2 quotes together, overwhelm was caused by lack of clarity. How do we get clarity? Well, first of all, we focus on what's in our control, because then that eliminates all the things that aren't in our control. So let's say you're in a situation that's causing you anxiety.
Yep.
That means you don't have, which also means you're overwhelmed. It means you don't have clarity. You don't know what to do. That's why it's anxious. If you knew what to do, you might be scared, and that's maybe because you're afraid. You don't need clarity, you need courage in that moment, but maybe you're not at that point yet because you don't know what to do. Now you're overwhelmed, you're anxious. First step is to gain clarity. How do you do that? First of all, remove the things that you can't control. Because the reason why you are likely anxious or overwhelmed is because you're trying to control things you can't control, which obviously now you're going to be overwhelmed because you can't do anything about that. So now you're going to feel anxious. So first of all, remove all the things that you can't control. Maybe there's 3 things you can control. Decide which one you're going to act on, or which one would be the most impactful, or to get momentum, even if it's just step 1. And let's say you don't know what to do, ask someone. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's refusing to give up. So overwhelm is caused by lack of clarity. Find clarity by focusing on what you control. If nothing is in your control, if it's literally nothing you can do about it, what can you do? Gratitude. How can you find a way to be grateful for this moment? It's that Stoic thing of amor fati. It's not just accepting or dealing with your fate or the cards that's being dealt or what's happening right now. It's how can you love it? How can you find a way to love it? One of the things I'm usually always grateful for in my journaling sessions when I write I'm grateful is I'm grateful for my challenges. Learn how to become grateful for the things that piss you the fuck off, the things that are hard. If you can develop that mindset, you're not going to be, well, it's not that you're not going to be anxious, but that anxiety is not going to overwhelm you. It's not going to control you. You'll have it, but it won't control you. You'll more or less control it or have it under rocks, not in a way that's suppressing it, but you're allowing it to just be. You're taking that meditative stance of, well, anxiety is here. I can observe it without participating in it. It's just there. And I think that's a really beautiful way to wrap up from a, we've talked about theory a lot and practical things as well. These practical habits of meditation, gratitude, we've talked about others as well, journaling. Just do those things. Do those 3 things.
It's probably important to bring up here how what you were saying there with the Stoicism and looking for gratitude and looking how can you be grateful for what's happening to you? How can you be stronger? That is really what it is training your mind to look for what you want it to look for. And
the good old reticular activation system.
Right? And what it is, it's like, and this is where we're talking about the maintenance of it as well, like the daily preventative maintenance or the daily management tasks that you can do, like what you were saying, if you've got the meditation, the cold exposure, the journaling, gratitude, all of this stuff is very much a daily repetition, because what it is, and it's a very common misconception, your eyes, what you see, your mind, your perception is not a camera. It's not direct footage from what's happening to your mind. It's not necessarily real. What you are doing is you're narrating what you see. You are seeing stuff and you're going, that means that, that means that, that means that, that means that.
And what's the thing that decides that means that?
Well, it's your mind, right? Your reticular activating system and things. And so what we're doing there is we are looking for, we're seeing things, right? And so what we're talking about here is with gratitude and with meditation and that, you can see thoughts as they come up and you can choose, no, that doesn't matter to me, or that's actually not true.
And you can choose what it means to you.
And choose what it means to you. So when you have this gratitude and when you're implementing it as a daily practice into your life, you start to teach your mind to look for the good things. You can look because, oh, okay, I have something bad in my life happen to me, like, oh no, I crashed my car. Oh, great. That means I'll be able to get a new car. They're the positive, sorry, you were going to say something, but the good thing is always there. And you have the choice to see it or not. You have the choice to perceive what you see in front of you. And the best way to set yourself up for success is to focus on things like gratitude. Like do it at the start of the day, like what you said. So important. Doing that at the start of the day is so beneficial for you throughout the rest of your day, because you're choosing in the morning to tell your mind to look for things that you're grateful for. Okay, what am I grateful for right now? I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, I'm grateful for this. And you meditate, and then you're separating yourself from your thoughts. Your thoughts are there, they're out there, they're not necessarily all true, they're potentially lying to you, their perception of what you're seeing around you. And you're setting yourself up for success every single day. So when you do these little things, they're not just pissy little woo-woo tasks. They are the nuts and bolts. They are the foundation for you being able to step out into the world and choose to see good things.
Yeah. And it is a daily thing, because if you do it for 99 days and you don't do it on day 100, you kind of feel anxious on day 100. It's not like, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 years and then that means I'll never feel anxious again. No, you just do it every single day. Make it part of your life. But it all goes down to, I love what you're talking about, the reticular activation system there. Basically, you know how if you buy a new car, you start seeing that car all the time. That's your reticular activation system. That car's always been there, but now your brain's just looking for that thing. They actually did an experiment where they had two groups of people. I put a $20 bill on the footpath, and they got two groups of people to walk along the footpath, all individually. They told one group of people, you're lucky, the other one, you're unlucky. The people who were told they were lucky, they all picked up the $20 bill. The other people, they didn't pick it up. Why? Because their brain thought they were lucky. So everyone's eyes saw it. Everyone's brain saw it. But people who thought they were unlucky, the brain said, well, we're unlucky, so that doesn't apply with us. So I'm not going to point it out to you. So
powerful.
So this goes back to key framework is your thoughts control your emotions, which control your actions, which control your outcomes. You can also say your beliefs control your feelings, actions, outcomes. So when it comes to anxiety, which is an emotion, it's a feeling, which then also impacts how you show up and then what outcomes you get. So you can work backwards through this framework. But let's look at anxiety here. That's coming from a thought. There's a thought that's popping in your mind. Whatever that thought might be, I don't know what that thought is. Calum doesn't know what that thought is. You know what that thought is. Well, you might know. The only way to figure that out is to shut out all the distractions and start sitting still. You actually able to hear your thoughts. But in the morning, if you have this belief, not just in the morning, but if you have this internal belief, this mindset of everything that happens to me happens for my benefit. Nothing can destroy me. Everything that happens to me makes me strong. It's for a reason. You know, God, the universe, but God is on my side. Gives me things that everything he gives me strengthens me. He wouldn't give me something that I can't deal with. Nothing can hurt me. Your reticular activation system is going to point that out. But if you have a victim mindset, a mindset of, oh, where is me? The world hates me. Everyone hates me. I'm weird. I'm different. All this thing that happens to me in the past, it means I can't succeed in life. All the mind's going to point that out. Then that's going to become your reality. Mm. So one of my favorite quotes is, the most beautiful thing about the mind, about the human brain, is that whatever you repeat in your mind daily, it will recreate. The most dangerous thing about your brain is that whatever you repeat in your mind daily, it will recreate. So what are your beliefs about yourself, about the world around you? Maybe they're causing you anxiety. That's what Calum is talking about preventing anxiety. You can literally prevent anxiety. You can prevent it from coming up by changing what you believe about the world, about yourself. If you believe you can't handle things, you're going to be anxious because you won't be able to find clarity in those moments. If you believe that, if you have faith, now faith is the belief in things not yet seen. That means something is happening right now. I don't know. I can't see a way through this, but I know a way through this is there. You're not going to be as anxious.
Exactly. Yeah. Believing that whatever is going to come or happen to you, come into your life, happen to you, you are going to be able to make it through is incredibly powerful.
Such a powerful belief is just, I will be okay. That's a mantra.
Yeah.
I will be okay. Hey, actually, cool thing about cold showers, or they've done studies where they've put people in VR, those head things they put in your face, and they put them in those places where you practice skydiving, where it's a vacuum and you're just floating. And they put them in a VR and they simulate in the VR that you're falling off a cliff, and your brain thinks you're falling off a cliff, and you go into this fight or flight mode because you think you're about to die.
Wow.
Now, in that state, your mind slows down and you start seeing like your life flashing between your eyes.
Mm. Whoa. Oh, shit. Talk about the reticular
activation system. So your mind starts... Yeah. Good thing you didn't trip on anything. But in those moments, your mind flashes beneath your eyes. And this isn't confirmed 100%, but they believe that in those moments, your brain is the most malleable. So there's a beautiful thing about the brain is it's got neuroplasticity. It can change its thoughts. It can change itself. It can change its structure. Another man running. No, go for it. Meow. But what was my train of thought?
I don't know. Just have this random.
Two guys going for a sprint. Maybe one's chasing the other. Maybe he stole his phone and is getting off. So they believe that in moments of fight or flight, or freeze, like where your brain thinks you're about to die, is when your brain is most malleable. It's like a sponge. It soaks in whatever you believe. So they've kind of been practicing, okay, let's simulate pushing these people off an edge and then get them to start saying affirmations.
Wow.
So when you're having a cold shower, your brain's going into fight or flight. It thinks it's going to die. Now, obviously, you know it's not going to die. Your job is to tell your brain, hey, we're going to be okay. So that's actually a really good opportunity when you're having a cold shower, you're having an ice bath every morning. Yell your affirmations. Say your affirmations. You don't even have to speak them. You can say them in your head. But it's a good way to reinforce some beliefs. I am courageous. I will be okay. I am stronger than my pain. Everything happens for my benefit. I am confident. I am lovable. I've got everything I deserve. Even if we talk about trauma, this is when you start reinforcing, I forgive this person. I forgive that person. Or, this thing that happened to me in the past, this is what it means. It doesn't mean that anymore. It means this. You can do that in these places of fight or flight, which obviously a controlled one is have a cold shower every morning. So yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to say about anxiety. So I guess if we want to sum that up, step one is prevent it with your thoughts and all these things.
Set yourself up for success.
Set yourself up for success. Eliminate the things that are unnecessarily causing anxiety, such as your phone and all these things. And then in those states of anxiety, it's okay, get into places of gratitude. Do these habits every day. Focus on what's in your control. See how you can find clarity. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you conquer your anxiety once and for all. Now that you've conquered anxiety, actually, we're going to talk about how that applies to leadership in a second, but do you have any recommendations, a book or quote? Are you going to go with your, not a quote, but are you going to go with your songs again? Recommendation. Or have you found a new way of life?
I don't know. The other day, I was listening to Baby Keem's song, Baby Keem. It's got Kendrick in it as well. And it was like, one of the chorus is weird. It just took me by surprise. It said, have you ever been punched in the motherfucking face? No? Wait. Oh, bitch? It's like, It kind of struck me as, I don't know, it's probably not that deep. But the way it struck me was, okay. If you want to, in certain areas of life, you want to be successful, you want to be top dog, you want to really take life by the balls, not be a bitch. There will be times where you're going to get knocked down. There'll be times where you're going to get faced with people that want to take the shit that you have. There are going to be times where people are quite combative with you and they're going to think that you're an idiot, or they're going to want to take what's yours, like what I said. Or I think as I've started to grow up and mature through life, I've really started to realize that, it's so much about growing and maturing, and that is taking the hits. Because life, as we get older, we'll just have to start taking those hits, really. And we'll have to get punched in the face, metaphorically, every now and then. Maybe you do get punched in the face. But if you want to get anywhere in life, you're not going to be able to do it 100% with no chill, no nothing. It is going to take some hits. You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to get knocked down. It's going to suck. But if you want to get there, that's what it's going to take.
Usually, every now and then, Calum was talking about the recommendation. I just like to check. I was checking the camera. Cameras were good. I went over to the laptop to see that the audio was coming through. And for whatever reason, halfway through the episode, halfway through what we were talking, the waveform or the audio had just not, like, it worked for the first half, it was coming through.
Yeah.
It just stopped recording.
It just stopped.
It was still recording.
It's like, nah.
It was still recording, but there was no volume coming through. So you guys will know, if you're listening to this right now, if I could have grabbed audio off the camera and somehow pump it up. But if we've lost that, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, it's a shame, but it's okay. This has been a great topic so far.
Yep.
And what we've decided is we've given this anxiety topic the attention it deserves, and we won't be able to talk about leadership and composure,
which is great, because we'll be able to do it next time,
because we don't want to skip over that.
No, that's such a good topic. So, I think it's going to work out well.
Yeah. So what just for me, because I didn't hear it, what was your, I remember you saying punch in the face, something to do with punch in the face.
Yeah, it's song Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar. There in the chorus, it's like, it says, have you ever been punched in the motherfucking face? No? Oh, wait, bitch? Something like that, right? Yeah. I thought it was a terrible rendition. But the point is, it's like, no matter what happens in your life, you want to start getting really successful, you want to start going somewhere, you want to start doing some cool shit, like stuff that really matters to you, stuff that is in your vision, is where you want to be going. You're going to get hit. You're going to get, metaphorically, you might get punched in the face, right? But you're going to get hit. There's going to be things that happen to you that you don't like. There's going to be things that are shit, annoying, hurt, painful, overwhelming. But it just means you're growing. It just gives you opportunities, like what we've been saying. It gives you an opportunity to look at it and say, okay, where's the positive? What am I grateful for here? And yeah, it was quite a confronting thing. And I was like, oh my God, okay. But you've got people as renowned as Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar, these massive icons in the hip hop industry, that are just really putting to words the philosophy of success and what it takes.
Be grateful for your difficult moments, for without them, how weak would you be? Is one of my
good point.
favorites.
Good point.
I like that. Yeah, you do have to. Yeah, if you want to achieve the things you need to achieve or you're desired to achieve. We talked about this last episode or two episodes ago. Suffering is always going to be there. You're going to get punched in the face.
Punch in the motherfucking face sometimes.
So if we know we're going to get punched in the face, well, let's build the mindset to deal with it. Beautiful.
What's yours, mate?
Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a book. It's his nice. Because we talked about him. We've talked about Stoicism a lot, so I thought I'll give that one. I don't think I specifically mentioned that one before, but basically, it's a book. What it is this Roman emperor, he journaled every day, and this book is just his journal. So when you read it, don't read it thinking, "Oh, I'm going to enjoy this book," because it's literally what it is. It's just his thoughts that he journaled, just randomly written down.
And they found it, didn't they? And they just made it into a book.
They found it.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't supposed to be published or anything. Yeah.
So if he knew about this, he'd be probably mortified. Be like, "Hey, fuck, those are my what are you doing reading my journal?
It's his personal journal.
What are you doing publishing my journal?"
Well, it's like, yes, it's a good read.
There's some absolute fire wisdom in there because this man, he led an entire nation. He was the emperor, and
the Roman nation.
The Roman emperor,
huge.
Like we think about the Roman Empire every day, don't we, Calum? So, as men, that's what we do. We think about the Roman Empire every day. But
ancient Greece.
As I said, he didn't have an easy life, so you can learn off how he was able to deal with the thought processes he had in order to, he has back-to-back dialogues with himself where he say, "Get up in the morning." No, I don't want to get up in the morning. I actually have this printed on next to my bed. It's in Meditations, and it's just his dialogue with saying, "Get up. I don't want to get up. It's nice and warm in here." Yeah, but you weren't built to be nice and warm. You're built to add purpose and all these things. It's just his back and back dialogue of how he convinced himself to get out of bed. And there's things about, okay, how do I deal with the loss of my child and all these things? And he's talking about, I'm putting my child to sleep tonight. He might not see it in the morning.
So even Roman emperors want to hit snooze.
Yeah, they want to hit snooze. Yeah,
how funny is that?
If you want to hit snooze, you're not proven. But
oh my God.
Yeah, absolute ripper book. When you read it, just realize that it's his journal, so there's no cohesive order to it.
Yeah,
it's just wisdom. So that's my recommendation. All right. Well,
gratitude
classic quotes is what's next.
It's classic quotes. Ooh, I don't have one straight away.
Would you like to reiterate one that we've already talked about this episode then?
Okay, classic quotes. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God is the full quote. It's from the Bible. But apply it to your normal... And you don't have to be religious to see the benefits of the teachings of religion. And be still and know. We were talking about it before. Being still, sitting in stillness, sitting in silence. You will find that with time, silence and stillness will breed or give birth to the greatest clarity that you could ever desire. Turns out that you don't have to think your way through things. If you just sat there and did nothing, you will find that what you need to know comes up, because the fact is that the knowledge is there. The knowledge of everything is already there. We might not know it yet, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So we can either think and try and work things out, but then you're trying to think of things that you're trying to use your knowledge, your intellect, to discover things that you might not actually know yet. And instead, I know it's becoming a bit cosmic, it's a little bit woo-woo, whatever, but fuck me, it works. Sit there in stillness, in silence, do nothing, be still, and know. You sit there, you chill out, you let your thoughts go kind of wild, and all of a sudden, something will click. I was actually speaking with one of the guys at work, a contractor. One of the guys, he was saying he went on holidays, and he came back, and he said, "Cal, I found that sitting by the pool with not much to do was some of the greatest moments of clarity that I've had. You'd just be sitting there, you'd be doing nothing, and all of a sudden, oh my God, why didn't I think of that?" I find that the busyness of life can sometimes really shut us off to these opportunities. So be still and know is a wonderful practice, and it's a reinforcing why meditation is so important, stillness, because you can come into contact with things that you might have been too busy to be able to before.
Amazing. I know the Stoics, they would say, keep the legs busy so the mind can think. So they'd say, if you need to think about something, go for a walk. Be in nature, go for a walk, get rid of all the distractions. But my quote is, it's along the line, I don't remember the exact, it's from the Bible. And again, you don't have to be religious to learn to grab the wisdom from certain texts or certain philosophies.
100.
You don't have to.
Yeah, 100.
Don't let things get in the way of grabbing wisdom. So it's along the lines of the blessings you're going to receive is nothing compared to the pain you're experiencing right now. Or the pain you're experiencing right now is nothing compared to the blessing you're going to receive. There's actually this story. It's a whole book in the Bible, and this guy called Job, and he basically has everything stripped away from him. His entire family stripped away. He gets disease, and he was a wealthy guy. And he had like wealth in family as well. He had a big family. Everything stripped away. And then he's in this state of gratitude for the entire time, because he's a very religious person. So in a state of gratitude, he's okay with it. But then he snaps at one point and he gets really angry at God, saying, I've done everything right. Why are you taking this away from me? And then God's response is something along the lines of, you don't know why I'm doing this. Like, you don't control what the fish are doing, and like you don't understand the weather patterns and why the weather has to be a certain way in certain times, and why the fish eat this fish eats that fish, and why the lion eats that, and you don't understand how to control this. So you don't know why I'm doing this, but just trust me. And then he ends up getting everything he once had, the things that were taken away, got restored 7 times over. Because he just had to focus on what was in his control, relax. And the moral of the story there is, like, you don't know. And sometimes you don't need to know why certain things are happening. You just need to know, okay, I don't know why this is happening, but how can I find strength in it? Because why can be a very beneficial question to ask, but it can also be a very useless question to ask. Like, why did this person hurt me? I don't need to know that. You can, but you don't need to go and ask them, why did you do this to me? Why? Like, you don't need to just ask, well, why is this affecting me? How do I do better at it? How do I not let it affect me anymore? So what have you been pondering this week? Well, actually, you look like you might want to add something to what I was just saying there.
No, pondering as much as I've got some difficult decisions to be making at work at the moment, and it's been about taking time off and time away from that to do more coaching, and coaching is becoming a part of my life it's difficult to share with another job. And so at the moment, I'm in quite a bit of a transitional phase. So it's just been, this week's been difficult, but leaning on the people around me and speaking about it, talking to my partner, talking to my support network, it's just been really beneficial. It's just a really nice reminder of how people are out there actually trying to help you and taking stuff on your own and trying to do it all on your own. It's I understand why you want to do it. You want to have that kind of sense of, I did it all on my own. I'm self-made and all that shit.
Sense of pride in that. Which can be good.
It just can be good.
Sometimes
yeah, absolutely. And look, you should obviously go on.
I'll say you mentioned this in there was a Star Wars quote. You can only get so far without a tribe.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And it's like, yes, you can go do it on your own, but sometimes it's easier if you lean on someone else to help, because then you don't have to go through those mistakes sometimes, and you can kind of bypass. Yeah, well, you can kind of bypass some of the difficulties, and it can be very useful. So yeah, if you need to hear this right now, it's always good to just remind yourself that you have a support network for a reason. Sometimes you can lean on them.
If you don't have a support network, it is your responsibility to build one. To be honest, yeah, it is.
And you might have more of a support network than you think. You just got to allow them to support you.
That's okay, which might be really weird and uncomfortable and awkward in the start.
True.
It's okay. It's okay. Feel that awkwardness. Don't get rid of it.
What about you, mate? What have you been pondering this week, Cristian? That beautiful mind of yours.
I think last time it was it's very similar. It's all about definitions. So I've been one of definitions lately. So last time I talked about, what's the definition for the thing that is pride but not in a bad way? That's encouragement. So the thing I was pondering this week is, what's the definition of the thing that's judging but it's in a good way? That's also encouragement. So I was thinking, it's wrong to judge. We shouldn't judge people. It's incorrect to judge. You should not judge a book by its cover. But then I was thinking, well, as a coach, I judge people all the time. I'm giving advice. That's judging, isn't it? So I was thinking, well, is there a time and place for judgment? And it came to the conclusion, I've been reading the Bible a lot recently, and this is where I came to this conclusion of you can correct someone who should know better. So if I see you doing bags, I would correct, or if I do that, I'd hope that you correct me. And that's not being judgmental. That's actually being a loving friend, because I should know better. So you should judge people, or not necessarily judge, but encourage and correct people who should know better or are willing to know better. Now, people who don't know better, you wouldn't judge them. Or if you want to judge them, you would ask, hey, do you want my feedback? And they might say no. And guess what you do? You don't give the feedback.
Yeah, well.
You don't give the feedback.
I said no.
And actually, another interesting thing, this book, The Way of the Superior Man, this is just a fun fact. Book, The Way of the Superior Man, one of my favorite books, is when it comes to correcting or encouraging guys versus girls, or not just guys versus girls, but people who are more masculine versus people who are more feminine, because some guys can be more feminine, especially in today's society.
Some girls can be more masculine by the same.
They can be. But people who are more masculine tend to improve through criticism. Whereas people who are more feminine tend to improve through encouragement or praise, is what they say, praise. So let's talk about the gym. If you have a fat mate who has, typically here's what it comes down to. He probably has a good relationship with his father, which means he can handle criticism, because criticism from his father has come from a loving place rather than a shameful place. So if you've got a mate who's fat, you could probably call him fat all the time and he'll end up going to the gym. But as long as you encourage him and you're not doing it to bully, but you're doing it, you could do that. And that would motivate him to, okay, I need to fucking go to the gym. If you did that to, if I got fat and you did that to me, I'd be like, okay, yeah, lock in, time to go to the gym. And it's that, you see that people at the gym, they're like, do it. This is why she left. This is why she did that.
Oh, no.
That's
get a bit toxic, but I hear you.
It's a bit toxic, but it works, and there's a time and a place for that. There's a time and a place. But if it was a girl, on the other hand, if you say that to her, if you say, bro, you're fat, you you'd never say that to her. She's gonna get fatter. She's gonna become anorexic or something. She's gonna develop a disorder. So it's this really interesting thing, and this requires you to know people in your life. Figure out, okay, is this person more masculine or feminine, or is this a guy or a girl? Like, understand and know their past. Okay, I want this person to do this thing because I know it's going to be beneficial for them. Should I criticize them? Should I praise them? So let's say you got a lady in your life, whether it's your mum or it's your partner or it's a friend, and you want them to start going to the gym, or you want them to start whatever it is reading. Whenever you notice them doing it, you say, hey, I saw on your story you're at the gym. That's awesome. Keep it up. Or, hey, those gym clothes you're wearing, they look great on you. They fit you so well. It's positive reinforcement. That's going to motivate them to go to the gym, rather than you saying, hey, that chocolate, don't eat it. Hey, that chocolate, that's going to make you fat. It's probably better for you to say, hey, I noticed you didn't go for the chocolate. That's awesome. But someone who's more on the masculine leaning scale, you can say, bro, stop eating that chocolate. You're going to get fat.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, true, fuck, yeah. So, interesting fun fact. Actually, my mum bought a treadmill the other day.
Yeah.
Or the other week. And I make a conscious effort to positively reinforce that. I'm like, hey, I saw you're on the treadmill last night. Well done. Or she will say, and now she comes to me and says, I was on the treadmill.
Ah, yay.
Like, go, mum, well done. Because now it's positive reinforced. If one night I saw that she wasn't on the treadmill, I'm like, mum, get on the fucking treadmill.
Oh my God.
You know what she'll do? She would pick up the treadmill. She'd be that angry. She'd pick up the treadmill. She'd develop all this strength and she'd throw it at me and then throw it out. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh my God, don't do that.
So encourage people who are more feminine and maybe criticize, because men grow through criticism. So that's fun facts. What are you grateful for, sir?
Grateful for this week. I'm grateful for the challenges of today, actually. It's been quite interesting.
There have been a few challenges,
There have been a few challenges today. Today's been one of our more difficult to record podcasts. We've had a couple of those. I remember the one on the
Bergs Lookout.
The Bergs Lookout. It was that windy. We had like the storm coming over. And
We've had 2 smooth sailing podcasts, which was when we re-recorded episode 4 and when we recorded episode 5 last time. The rest have had, and this is all part of the learning process.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Cameras coming off and on.
Yeah, no storage
alarms,
and things.
And now we realise we have to turn our alarms off.
Yeah.
We have to realise airplane mode.
So I'm very much classic Cristian in that way, and I'm grateful for the things that have caused us difficulty in that way. And I think
now we've grown from them.
Now we've grown from it. Now we know. Okay, no alarms, no effort moment. So I think that's I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for actually at the moment I've got a bit of discomfort. And it's an opportunity to work through that. I had this plan of everything that I was going to do today, and then this has taken longer than expected, and so I'm grateful for literally what we've been talking about, and just being able to say, okay, well, this is an opportunity just to let go, just to let it be as it is, and just remember how grateful I am. Like I'm uncomfortable, and I'm sitting in front of a beautiful fucking lake I can't sit. Damn it, there's a cloud over there. But anyway, there's beautiful sun.
Call that a cloud? It's just a wisp.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's just fog that's risen. I don't know. But, I'm just very grateful to be alive. I'm grateful I'm almost finished a lot of things to do with coaching. I think it's all really coming together very nicely. And, grateful to be here with you, mate. I really am. I think we connect and we talk about amazing things, and just to be able to sit here and talk to someone about so much stuff that I've found so useful for me in my time, and be able to share it and have a platform. And I know all this hard work that you do with this podcast, it's incredible, and I'm so grateful for you for doing all of that. All the hours and time you spend is magical to be able to provide this platform for us. And so thank you, man.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Those are very kind words. Thank you, man. So I'm also grateful for my gratitude is literally almost the exact same as you. I've grateful for the challenges of today that we've had so far, and same for you. Like, I've got plans after this podcast and they're going to be pushed back, and I don't know, people might be annoyed with that, but I'm grateful for me having to deal with that annoyance and the challenges that I might face for the rest of the day, because as you said, like, look where we are right now. What do we have to be anxious about? Zoom out, memento mori, going to die one day. Why am I anxious when I'm right in front of the fucking lake with a black swan right there and fucking birds flying everywhere?
Stunning.
Yeah, no reason to be anxious. So grateful for where I am right now in terms of the challenges that I will be facing later today. Grateful for everything I'm going to be doing later today. And I am grateful for you.
Thanks, man.
Because it is great that we get to spend this time every 2 or 3 weeks literally yapping about things that, yes, is very beneficial for people to hear, but, you know, we just love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, we dead set do.
There's not many people probably in our lives at the moment, maybe a handful of people that we can talk so deeply about this stuff for so long. Yeah. Besides maybe our clients and things like that, you know, but, and other people in this space. But it's, your network is really, the people you know is really a gift. So I'm grateful for relationships, challenges, and I guess the beautiful lake right in front of me.
I'm glad that we took the opportunity of actually looking at it this time. Like, normally we try and obviously pass that on to you.
Normally
the viewer,
we were facing the other way, but in terms of the direction of the sun, we did not do that. So we actually got to enjoy the view.
Well,
should we share a win?
Been fantastic.
I think we just need to share one win.
We need a win.
We can share 3, but let's just go for 1.
Yeah, win. I started to, I was saying before about being kind of at a transitional point. That was really scary, and I had like this real kind of really difficult emotions to work through, but I did, and got through them and practiced everything we've been talking about here, and it worked, and I got through them, and now I can reevaluate and work out the best move forward. And so I'm an absolute win to be able to kind of come up against that difficulty, get punched in the face a little bit, and just okay, right, this is what I'm going to do. Keep moving.
Beautiful. Well done, sir.
What about you?
I've been just basically been this morning. Our technical our difficulties that we had, I forgot something at home, had to find out a quick solution, because obviously the option was, okay, we just abort mission, and that would have been a waste of time, which is okay, but finding out a solution, solving it quickly, getting it all done, and we've wrapped up this podcast in a reasonable time, and in a time that wasn't rushed as well. I'd say that's a win. We didn't rush. We concluded anxiety without rushing. So that's a huge win for me, and also for you as well. So go team. And so well, should we talk about what to expect for next episode? Because we've got here that what we might talk about is what to do about the non-stop thoughts in our heads. We've talked about that sort of today.
We were going to do composure and leadership, remember?
So we can do that, can't we?
Yeah. I think we'll start with composure and leadership, because I think it's so beneficial for everyone listening today. Like, like once you start doing this with your life, you start to realize that you need to show others how to do it too.
Yeah, and we can find another question that links, that piggybacks back onto that.
Yeah,
but if
perfect.
not, the other question we'll go to, or the other thing we'll talk about is, okay, have Calum and I ever had to let go of someone or something that we were afraid to let go of? And, because that's just something that everyone has to go through.
Yeah,
and, how do you navigate
tough.
that? And that requires leadership to do.
Yeah,
so,
sure does.
Yeah, so
a real fucking sense of purpose that requires.
Yeah.
That is difficult.
Yes. If you know your purpose, it's much easier to... If you know where you're heading, it's much easier to know what to let go of.
Oh, yep, absolutely, because it's meaningful.
That's a conversation for another day.
It is.
Well, sir, it's been wonderful being on this beaten path with you today. And let's enjoy this lake for another 10 or 5 minutes, just you and I. And we will see you guys when we see you next.
Good on you for joining in. And
probably be in 2 weeks for you guys.
Yeah.
So there you go. Take care.